The iPhone 5 is finally here. Of course, a very, very hotly anticipated iPhone 5. Everybody's been wondering what surprises Apple was going to be springing this time. The answer to that is unfortunately no real surprises. But it still looks like a great phone, and we're going to be breaking it down for you right here with NDTV's own gadget guru, Rajiv Makte.
Come on, Gayatri. Your voice says you are excited, okay? So I'll tell you what, I think it's all to do with the fact that Apple is now becoming a victim of its own success. If you really look at the new iPhone 5 on paper, it's fantastic. There's nothing wrong. I mean, look, go through it. 112 grams, 7.6 mm thin, 4-inch display. It's not a it's retina, but not an HD display. 4G LTE, an A6 processor, twice as fast as before. 8MP camera, a new connector. Great optics because of the panorama. So if you really put it all together, it's all great. Where's the problem? The problem is that 99% of this was already known, and there's no, and I repeat this, there is no killer feature as we can see it right now. Now that is a slight bit of a problem.
So let's talk about why that's the case. Is it just a situation of Apple sitting back on its hands and going, if it ain't broke, don't fix it?
Yeah, I think you're getting it right. They've got a lot of momentum behind them. They don't want to reinvent the wheel. They don't want people to suddenly say, that's too complicated, that's too complex. We don't want a phone that isn't easy. So they're going very, very slow, one step at a time, and that's pretty much it.
Right. So now, just quickly tell us, best feature about the iPhone 5.
Okay, all of them put together. The phone, if you put it all together, is a good phone. If I was to go with just one thing, I think it's the re-engineering of the phone. They've done a great job with the way it's been put together. It's really thin. It's very well put together. But again, is it a revolution? No, it's not.
So is that the worst feature of the iPhone 5, or is it something else?
So the answer is, what's the best? It's everything they put in it. What's the worst? It's everything they put in it. Okay, no, I'll tell you the disappointments. The really big ones are, they had to shake up the market with at least one or two. They always do, right? This time, it's all gone according to prediction, right? So I would say if they'd thrown in wireless charging and made it very user-friendly, that would have suddenly taken them to a whole new level. I wish they'd done just that one thing. Everything on the iPhone 5 is great. They're still going to sell in millions. There's no doubt. Yet, that one killer feature, Apple and no killer feature, then why is it Apple?
Rajiv, right now we can't talk about Apple without talking about the little Apple-Samsung conflict that's been going on. And Samsung, earlier this year, great release, put them on the top of the market. Apple hasn't really done enough for that, has it?
I think the big question now is that for the next 4 or 5 months, the iPhone 5 will be the big selling phone. Will it be a big seller for a whole year? I really doubt it. That's going to be the problem, and I think that's where Apple needed to do a lot more. They've basically caught up with everybody else and maybe gone about 10% ahead. But every time the competition comes, they go about 20, 30, 50 steps ahead. Have they done enough for the whole year? I think not.
And of course, last time I remember when the Siri buzz happened, it was also a time when Steve Jobs had just died, and there was a huge amount of goodwill coming from that as Steve Jobs' last legacy. iPhone 5 doesn't have that. What the iPhone 5 is, with Steve Jobs gone, can Apple still live up to Steve Jobs' dream?
Well, you know, I think the fingerprint of Steve Jobs is still here on this phone because everything is continuing according to his legacy. It's when they break completely from what he had said a phone should be, that's when we'll know if the Apple magic still continues. But I will tell you this, iPhone 5S may not be too far.
iPhone 5S, is that what we're calling it? Again, very quickly, there was a buzz at some point that this may or may not be called the iPhone 5. Very clearly then, what you're predicting right now is they're going to be sticking with going with this kind of
Oh,
model.
they better. The amount of confusion they brought into the market with the new iPad, Apple, thank you very much, it's not called the new iPhone. That is the killer feature.
And also for Indians who are hoping for that it will come. The one actually really exciting feature for me is the fact that it's 4G, but it doesn't actually mean anything here.
Well, even if it was, even the 4G that we have in the country till we don't have the next auction, no 4G on the iPhone, even if you buy it.
India's #1 news app just got even better. Download NDTV's new app. Fully optimized for retina display. Full screen view. Faster response time, and Sudoku. NDTV's new iPad app. Download now.